And now we're live. Thank you. Okay. And we're going to share that. But like now I can't see whether or not. I don't want presenter view. I'm trying to figure out. You know, internet's amazing and then not sometimes. Where are we at? Hey, Wayne, how you doing? Oh, just trying to figure out how do I do. Like, I want to do the slideshow. So I've got like a PowerPoint set up, but every time I go to make the PowerPoint go live so I can see like the big screen, it takes up both my screens and I can't see what's going on, so I can't see your comments. So I'm trying to figure out how to make it so it only does it on one screen. Hey, Keith, love your pistols. Which pistols do you have? I mean, you can't just say that and then not tell me what pistols you're using. I mean, come on. From start. Yeah, see, that just takes over the whole screen. Well, let's see. Minimize the program on one screen. 1911, 22 TCMs. You have 3 TCMs. Yeah, I think I'd say you are a big fan. All right, so let me see. If I do this and I do share this and I decide I want to share this, then you just see like the full display of everything. Whatever. I guess we're going to make that work. Because if I do play from start, see, then everyone disappears again and it has to take up both screens. I don't want it to take up both screens, but it insists on doing both screens. What is presenter view? Yeah, see, that doesn't help either. I can swap displays. Whatever. You know what we are going to do? We're going to roll with it. We're going to do what we can because that's all we can do. And we're going to go like that, right? So I own A1 and A2 plus the 410 lever action. Yep. That's a good little selection there. So okie dokie. Well, like I said, we're just going to kind of roll with the punches here. I can make that much smaller. And then we're going to share the screen. And obviously we have started, so it's not going to be beginning shortly. It has begun now. My Mickey Mouse Disney World mug here. So, all right. Well, hey, guys. I know it's been a while since we've done an episode of Armscor U. Things have been hectically busy between my recent trip to the Czech Republic for the PCC World Shoot. Now following getting all my paperwork and everything kind of sort of sorted for the handgun World Shoot in South Africa. And then getting ready for Handgun Nationals, which just happened. Plus, we have IPSC Nationals coming up. And I've got a bunch of work trips going on. Just been a busy dude. But we are here. And on this episode, being that it's summertime and everyone has a little bit of extra time on their hands, get a chance to maybe, go camping, fishing, whatever it is that you want to do with your family. Otherwise, if you have time to go to the range, then I wanted to talk about some of the guns that personally I've been really enjoying shooting with. And kids are out of school. This is the perfect time to get them into the shooting sports, teach them about gun safety, teach them about being a responsible firearms owner. So a lot of these pistols are also going to be very family friendly. So they're going to be great for everyone to be able to take out and enjoy. And the first one we're going to start off with, surprise, surprise, it's the RIA 5.0E. This is actually the handgun I will be shooting at the Handgun World Shoot in September in production division. So the 5.0E and the 5.0 standard now are legal for IPSC production division, even though it's a single action firearm. So USPSA, it's not legal for production because their wording is that it has to be a striker fired or a double action, single action pistol. This one is production legal for IPSC because their wording is that the average trigger pull has to be 3.5 pounds. So it doesn't matter what kind of action it is. Therefore, this is production legal. So that's the one I'm going to be using. Now, the reason why I am starting with this firearm is, well, I mean, I know it's new, but I'm telling you guys, if you haven't had a chance to shoot that patented RVS recoil system, everything about this gun was designed for high speed, low drag, low recoil, faster follow-up shots. I mean, everything about this 5.0E is about having a more enjoyable shooting experience from the recoil perspective. This gun, I mean, it's amazing. You'll shoot it the first time and you'll be surprised how fast the sights are back on target. Like most people that I let shoot this firearm for the first time, whenever I do shooting events, right? Whether or not it's for distributors or box stores or just public range day events and stuff like that, I'll actually start them off with like a TAC Ultra. Okay, so a big, heavy, full dust covered 9mm. I mean, it's as heavy of a gun as you can get, especially ours. And I'll let them shoot, 10 rounds out of that, 5 rounds, 10 rounds, whatever. And then when I put the 5.0E in their hand next, it's very funny to watch how their first shot, their second shot, and then their third, fourth, and fifth gradually speed up because they realize how much faster the gun is cycled and back on target and they're ready to shoot. Like the only thing the gun's waiting for them is for them to pull the trigger. So everything about this gun makes it extremely soft shooting. So not just for competition purposes, just for the person that likes to collect guns, the person that likes to have cool stuff, like the 5.0E is a fantastic firearm for you. And I know it seems like it's a higher price point than what Rock Island Armory is used to. However, do keep in mind that the RIA USA, what we're trying to do is RIA USA is going to be kind of like our Cadillac. It's going to be our higher end line of firearms. Okay, you've got like the Performance Center with Smith & Wesson. We've got the Custom Shop with Springfield and Colt. So for us, RIA USA, what we really want to do is try and focus in on the fact that we are going to be making pistols that are going to be a little bit higher quality. They're going to be a little bit more fine-tuned. I mean, the 5.0E, while it's a mass production pistol, still requires quite a bit of fitment on our end. So that's not necessarily a gun that we just like pop a bunch of parts together and lo and behold the gun runs. There is some fitment that is required, and because of that though, you'll notice it once you actually get your hands on the pistol and start shooting a little bit. I mean, is again a phenomenal pistol. Okay, so things to note too. The 5.0E is the one that we launched a couple years ago. We have launched the 5.0 standard. Now, what does that mean? Well, the 5.0 standard is what the 5.0 should have been when we first launched it. Okay, so if you think back when we first launched the 5.0 line, we had it where it was you either got iron sights or you got a red dot. You couldn't have both. Okay, the 5.0 standard is now that same gun, except it comes with iron sights and the ability to mount a red dot. Okay, so the biggest difference visual wise that you'll notice is that it doesn't have the lightning cuts on the slide that you can see here. Those lightning cuts are not there on the standard. Okay, they're just standard front cut serrations. And as far as the packaging goes, I think it ships with 1, maybe 2 mags. Okay, so you get a couple featureless aspects of it. But the price point is also significantly, or not significantly lower, but it is lower than your standard 5.0E. Okay, so if you still want the same technology, the same fitment, the same care and love that goes into building the pistol, but maybe you want to save a couple $100, then the 5.0 standard is going to be the way to go. But I'm serious, if you get a chance to, or if you can find someone that has one, or, you know, we've got range day events that are always popping up, whether or not it's like the gathering with Palmetto State Armory or the Phoenix outdoor, the Arizona Outdoor Shooting Expo that they put on, you know, CanCon, like all these events that we try and attend. If you can get your hands on a 5.0E, I bet I can make a believer out of you. Or you can just go buy one because it actually is a fantastic gun to shoot. Okay, so moving on next, I'm going to go with the entry series GI, and I'm going to go with 9mm. There's a couple reasons for that. I know. It's a 1911. It's a GI. It's almost like it's communist to not have it in 45 ACP. But again, I want to focus on the fact that it's summertime. Maybe the kids are getting a little cabin fever-ish and they need to go out. 9mm is just a little bit more friendly round for juniors and for ladies than a 45 ball ammo. Okay, so that's why I went with the 9mm version. Now, the reason I went with the entry series or the GI entry is simply because of the grips. Okay, the grips are a checkered rubber grips as opposed to the smooth wood. So that's just like one minor upgrade that can make a bit of a difference when it comes to teaching someone how to shoot and having it be a comfortable experience, because those smooth wood panels of the original GI, don't get me wrong, I think it looks fantastic. But when you got a brand new shooter, the first thing that tends to happen is that their palms get all sweaty, their knees weak, their arms are heavy. Their palms get sweaty, right? Their body temperature rises. The eye pro starts fogging up because of all the steam and stuff. There's a lot of that that's going on. And by having just the upgraded grips right out of the box with this gun, is going to help make that a much more comfortable shooting experience for anyone that's brand new. The reason why I'm also going with the GI entry as opposed to like a Rock Standard or a Rock Ultra or something like that is because of the price point. Price point of that firearm is very easy for anyone to get into it without feeling bad. I mean, I always joke that Rock Island Armory, the cool thing about our company is that you can actually tell your significant other how much you paid for it, as opposed to telling them what you are trying to explain that you paid for it, even though that might not. Yeah, like my biggest fear is that, you know, I die and they sell my guns for what I said they were worth, right? There's that joke. The price point of this gun, fantastic way to get into the shooting sports for an entry level without, like I said, just putting in, or investing too much too fast. You got to make sure, you know, people obviously enjoy shooting or anything like that, and it's a great option to do it. 9mm means you can put 10 rounds in the mag instead of only 8. And again, just a little bit more enjoyable shooting experience for those that maybe are learning how to grip the gun, are learning how to manage recoil and stuff like that. Okay, so again, I know a 1911 GI that's not in 45. Oh my gosh, but believe me, 9mm is fun, and we all know nowadays it's not about the size of the bullet, it's where you place it, right? So come on, guys, give 9mm a break. Okay, let's see. Let's go to the chat here, And we've got, yes, the grin on their face gets bigger and bigger. Yes, it does. And actually, the first time they'll shoot it, Keith, yes, the 5.0 is the one with the square barrel. Yeah, the key thing about that gun is like they shoot it, and like I said, like the second they realize they're back on target, they kind of go like, "Whoa, that was fast," right? Like they think the gun is moving really fast or working really fast, but it's just that the sights and everything have so much less movement in the recoil process that they get back on target faster. So it's not even that the recoil impulse is faster or anything like that. It's just that because there's less of it, you get back on target faster, which is what we should really, really want, right? So standard hammer and trigger for the Keith, are you talking about for the 5.0 or for the GI entry? You have to let me know. The Cheeto dust doesn't help either. No, it doesn't. The GI standard, yeah. So that's going to be like the absolute basic GI style, right? Like our rocks, our standards and our ultras all come with like the combat hammer. I know they call it that, but the fancy skeletonized hammer, a skeletonized trigger that's adjustable, extended beaver tail, stuff like that. The GI is going to be exactly that. It's an absolute GI. Like the sights aren't even anything fancy. They're fixed flat black GI sights. Okay, but again, that's the lowest price point of getting into the firearms world from our perspective, or our product line. That's the word I was looking for. So, all right, next one after that, I'm going with the Striker Fire series or the STK 200. Why don't I go for the 100? Well, I'll tell you why. I have been shooting this gun quite a bit lately. It is my carry gun. And I have a red dot on it. I've got the CCW, the Defender CCW from Vortex Optics on it. You've got the co-witness sights, which are nice to have. The trigger feels fantastic. It feels like a Glock action trigger because it essentially is, but it's flat face, so it feels a little aftermarket-ish. Trigger pull, I think, is a little bit closer towards the, what's kind of consistent now, right? Before, Glocks used to be like 5.5, 6 pounds. Now everyone's kind of gone down to that 3.5, 4 pound kind of trigger pull. Our STK 200 marketed 4 to 6 pounds. So around the same market area, but it feels very familiar, right? For those of us that have shot Glocks for years and years and years and years and years, the STK line feels very familiar. So there's not a lot of like transition time to go to feel comfortable shooting this platform. But yeah, that aluminum frame, the single piece aluminum frame, keep in mind, it's no longer a clamshell design. It is one single piece of aluminum. Adds just a little bit more weight. You can shoot this gun and not get as exhausted or fatigued because of the recoil impulse, even though it's the same size essentially as a 19. Okay. The reason why I put that up here, again, cost is actually, it's last time I checked, it actually sells for less than a Glock 19 would. So you get all the features of a G19, but you don't have to pay the G19 price. You get more features because you get an aluminum frame that has a 1911 grip angle, but it still runs Glock mags. You get a flat base trigger. You have the ability to mount red dot optics for RMR and RMSC footprints. You get co-witnessed sights. And it also has an ambidextrous magazine release. Now, what I will say about that is that the magazine release on the left side of the gun, so for right-handed shooters, it's pretty standard. The left side has actually receded a little bit more, but I think that's because, the majority of us right-handed shooters, it would kind of sort of get in the way. But if you're a left-handed shooter, it does come with the ambidextrous magazine release. Okay, so very, very nice option for them to have. The checkering on the front and back straps are aggressive without being painful. And then the side panel grips are also aggressive without being painful. So you can really get a good solid grip on this gun. However, when I carry it, and I carry appendix, it's not so aggressive that like it's rubbing me raw all day long, getting in and out of cars and walking around the store and stuff like that. So the reason I put that up here for one of my favorite summertime firearms is because I think no matter what time of year it is, you should be going out and practicing with what you carry. I think the STK 200 is a fantastic pistol for carry options. And actually, what I will do is I will run the standard like 15 round magazine right inside the gun. I actually have a +3 extension from Terran Tactical Innovation that I run on it. And then my magazine that I carry for my spare mag is actually a full size 17 round mag with the five round extension from Terran Tactical Innovation. So I essentially have 23 rounds in my second mag plus the 20 rounds that I can get in my first mag. And that's what I carry. So it's great because it gets me a chance to go out and practice drawing from concealment in a situation that we could all be in. It's summertime. We're going to be hot. We're going to be sweaty. We're going to be, hands are going to be wet and all that kind of stuff. Like, it's still important to go out there and actually put the reps in and practice what you're carrying in the environment that you're going to be carrying. And then when you take into consideration the price point, all the features and the abilities, like being able to take Glock magazines, I think the STK line is a fantastic option. I like the 200 because, again, it's what I carry. It's a good size to carry. Even when you put like a TLR7 from Streamlight, it's still not excessively bulky, which is actually what I do carry. So I carry the STK 200 with a TLR7 Streamlight on it as well. And fantastic shooting gun. And again, surprise, surprise, 9mm. Let's face it, I'm turning into one of those guys, right? So, all right, let's see. My 150 is back for service. The optic screw sheared off while firing. Known issue. Any chance of strongest? Yeah. So that seems to be like a hit or miss thing right now for some reason, and it's not even like, because obviously like we don't make the screws, right? Like you buy them from someone, and I've actually had screws from many other companies that have either sheared off or stripped extremely easier than they should have. Whether or not I was screwing in the optic or trying to unscrew the optic, like I have had some issues with it. So I'm just wondering if that's just like a general, all these companies are amping up their optics firearms, and so the orders orders, 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 orders. Orders, 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 orders. Orders, 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 orders.